Hey guys, tonight we're slipping into a story that blends betrayal, brilliance, and a revenge so subtle you'll barely hear the blade slide in. You're standing in a high school gymnasium, diploma in hand, while your sister basks in a family-funded education complete with European vacations and spa retreats. Meanwhile, you've scraped together textbooks from the clearance bin, eaten way too many $1 noodles, and lived in a dorm room so cold it felt like you were training to be a Viking. This one's about Emma. Her journey starts in a seemingly normal household, but normal is just code for quietly toxic when you're the child who isn't the favorite. You probably won't survive this if you're sensitive to injustice, because the audacity in this family, it could knock out a gladiator. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And hey, tell me where you're listening from and what time it is right now. I love knowing what corners of the world we're drifting through. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You're 8, maybe 9, when it first really clicks. Your sister's birthday party is a blowout bash, giant balloons, pink frosting taller than the cake, and a clown named Mr. Giggle who definitely costs more than your entire back-to-school wardrobe. A month later, your birthday comes and goes with a homemade card, a reused gift bag, and dry spaghetti. Historians still argue whether birth order truly influences favoritism, but in this household, it's not up for debate. Your sister is the chosen one. It's like watching a Shakespearean tragedy unfold. Except you're not Hamlet. You're just the side character who keeps doing the dishes. You start high school with optimism. A little frayed, sure, but still intact. You join the math club, audition for the school play, even try soccer, despite never quite figuring out offside rules. Your grades? Solid. Your attitude? Unbreakable. But at home, nothing changes. Your achievements get a nod, maybe a distracted, nice job, while your sister's every move earns a celebration worthy of Napoleon's return from exile. Remember that time she got a B+ on a paper? Your parents threw a pizza party. You win the regional science fair and get silence, and not the dramatic movie kind of silence. The real awkward kind. Like when someone farts in a small elevator and nobody acknowledges it. It's around this time you discover the story of Hypatia of Alexandria, the ancient female philosopher and astronomer. She taught math in a world that didn't want her to, but she made waves anyway. Historians still debate whether she was killed for her science or her politics, but you latch onto her story like it's oxygen. Hypatia had to be twice as brilliant just to survive. Sound familiar? Your own brilliance becomes your quiet rebellion. Late night studying under flickering desk lamps, borrowing books your school can't afford, teaching yourself programming on an ancient laptop that sounds like a jet engine. You're not just trying to succeed, you're trying to leave behind evidence that you existed. And yet, even with all that, there's a whisper you can't shake. She deserved it, but you didn't. Those exact words, said by your mom when you once asked why only your sister got a college fund. They stick like gum on your shoe. Annoying, humiliating, impossible to ignore. But you don't scream, you simmer. That's scarier, honestly. College application season arrives, that glittery time when seniors walk around like Wall Street brokers, comparing acceptance letters like stock options. You're cautiously hopeful. Your SATs are top percentile, your GPA sparkles, and your personal essay about building your own AI tutoring bot turns your English teacher misty-eyed. You apply to 5 schools, just 5, because the application fees make your bank account wheeze. Your sister, already in her second year at a pricey private university, is busy posting selfies in sorority hoodies while you're secretly selling sketches and homemade earrings online to afford your own dream. And then, the acceptances start rolling in. Harvard, Stanford, even MIT. You try not to explode from excitement. You show your parents the letters with a shaky grin, expecting, what? A hug? A cheer? At least a, well done. Instead, your dad squints at the papers and asks, "How are you planning to pay for this?" The air goes heavy. You wait. You remind them they paid for your sister's tuition. Room, board, books, the works. Your mom doesn't blink when she replies, "She deserved it, but you didn't." Yep, there it is again. That venom-dipped sentence, sharper than any rejection letter could ever be. You feel like Galileo must have felt when the church told him the earth stood still. Historians still argue whether he truly whispered, and yet it moves. But you do whisper something under your breath. Fine, watch me. Meanwhile, you research scholarships with the tenacity of a Cold War spy. Did you know the first known scholarship was given by Cecil Rhodes in 1902? The Rhodes Scholarship, still running, has funded future leaders, authors, and, yes, revenge-driven daughters with a grudge and a spreadsheet. Your new goal? Get in, get out, and get even. You start college with 2 duffel bags, a refurbished laptop, and the kind of debt most people associate with small islands or vintage sports cars. While other freshmen roll up with their parents lugging suitcases and mini-fridges, you Uber in solo, gripping your financial aid packet like it's a magic scroll. You major in computer science because it's your passion, sure, but also because the ROI on a CS degree could probably resurrect the Roman Empire. And speaking of empires, you quickly learn that university life is less toga parties and more all-nighters, instant ramen, and debugging errors that haunt your dreams. Historians still argue whether Rome fell because of economic mismanagement or sheer exhaustion, and frankly, you relate. You work 3 part-time jobs. 1 in the library, 1 grading papers, and 1 running online freelance gigs coding websites for small businesses. You memorize lines like, "Do you need a mobile responsive landing page?" the way other students memorize Drake lyrics. Meanwhile, your sister posts TikToks from Coachella. Your mom comments heart emojis. You don't hear from them, not even when you win a national student coding competition. But it's fine. You've got a new family now. Your roommates, the professor who tells you your app saved his niece's tutoring costs, and the janitor who lets you nap in the 24-hour lounge during finals week. And just like that, you become the queen of quiet victories. Fun fact, in 1939, while the world teetered on the brink of World War II, a woman named Hedy Lamarr co-invented frequency-hopping tech that would one day lead to Wi-Fi. She was also a Hollywood star. People can be 2 things. You're broke, but brilliant. Every time your code compiles without errors, it feels like rebellion. Every straight-A semester? A soft, simmering revenge. By your junior year, you're the go-to tutor for the toughest programming classes. Professors call on you by name. The TA texts you for help, and the campus startup incubator offers you a spot. Unpaid, of course, but with networking opportunities. Yes, exposure. The currency of the desperate. You take the gig anyway. You and 2 others. Jason, a soft-spoken data scientist, and Layla, who could pitch toast to a gluten-free audience, start building an app that helps small retailers track inventory using image recognition and simple AI. You call it Shelfie. The pun alone should have made you a billionaire. Historians still argue whether innovation stems more from necessity or rebellion. You sip your 3rd iced coffee of the night and vote for spite. Back home, your sister graduates early thanks to some accelerated program that honestly sounds like she paid extra to skip learning. Your parents throw her a lavish garden party with string lights, a chocolate fountain, and a custom Snapchat filter. You see it all on Instagram. The caption? She earned its sparkling heart. You go back to debugging Shelfie's broken barcode scanner. That night, you cry in the campus library. Not because you're weak, but because the printer jammed and you can't afford another $1 for a reprint. You learn how to breathe through that kind of anger. That tight chest, throat lump fury, like Julius Caesar hearing whispers in the Senate. You apply for every scholarship, every paid internship, every grant. You get most of them. Because here's the quiet truth. People underestimate the girl eating instant noodles in the back row. And your revenge? It's slow, elegant. Like those antique pocket watches with moving gears that tick down to a moment no one sees coming. Not yet. But soon. You graduate magna cum laude, with a double major and a minor in pure saltiness. No cap and gown photos for you, just a borrowed dress and a thrifted pair of heels. You tell yourself it's minimalist. But really, You can't stomach the idea of asking your parents for help, not even for a ride. So you walk. The ceremony is on the school's main lawn, sun roasting everyone in their polyester gowns. Your name is called. Cheers erupt, not from your family who aren't there, but from your lab mates, your dorm neighbor, even that one weird guy from econ who always borrowed your notes. It's the first time you feel seen for who you actually are. Historians still argue whether emotional resilience is nature or nurture. You think, maybe it's neither. Maybe it's just surviving so many cold shoulders that you learn how to stitch warmth into your own seams. Later that evening, your phone buzzes. A single text from your mother, "Congrats, let us know if you need a ride." As if they hadn't ghosted your entire senior year. As if "let us know" wasn't their passive-aggressive anthem. You don't reply. Instead, you take the long way home, across campus, past the old lecture halls and vending machines that owe you $20 in missed snacks. You sit on the stone bench by the quad, where once, 3 years ago, you cried about failing your first midterm. Now, you're holding a job offer from a Fortune 500 company. 6 figures, full benefits, and a signing bonus large enough to make your parents choke on their mortgage. You stare at the sunset, and for the first time in years, smile like you mean it. Not out of joy, but out of anticipation. You accept the job offer the next morning, with the kind of casual click that masks fireworks in your chest. The company's based 2 states over, far enough to feel like exile, close enough for revenge to echo. Your new apartment is modest but sleek. Industrial lighting, exposed brick, and a water heater that sings like a dying whale. You call it home after the first night, because no one there tells you you're unworthy. Meanwhile, back at your parents' place, your sister is planning her postgraduate trip to Europe, funded, of course, by the family vault. She posts selfies from the airport, captioned #blessed. And for once, you don't even roll your eyes. Let her have it. Let them think they've won. Historians still argue whether Cleopatra's wealth was exaggerated or understated. You relate. People assume you're broke just because you didn't announce every win on Instagram. You, on the other hand, are busy investing, first in yourself. You take night courses, learn budgeting, stock basics, and even a touch of French, just in case you ever decide to crash one of your sister's Parisian brunches. Then, in your career, you pitch bold ideas during meetings. You stay late, but not because you have to, because you want to. Then, something shifts. Your face is on the company website next to the phrase, "youngest associate to lead a team project." Your inbox swells with LinkedIn requests from strangers who call you inspiring. And your parents, they reach out, asking if you're coming home for Thanksgiving. You say, maybe. You don't mean it. You've learned the power of the maybe. It's a scalpel in a velvet case. And when you finally decide to use it, the cut will be clean. Thanksgiving approaches, and so does your sister's latest humble brag. She's presenting at a student leadership summit. She sends a family group text with a photo of her on stage, under a spotlight. Your parents respond with heart emojis and, "So proud of you, sweetie." You don't reply, not out of pettiness. Well, maybe a little. But mostly because you're busy finalizing your own speaking engagement. At your company's quarterly summit, you're the keynote. That's right. You. The one who didn't deserve it. You step onto a stage bathed in corporate blue light, your name on the digital backdrop behind you. You're not nervous. You're calm, cool, almost too cool, like someone who's watched too many Ken Burns documentaries and now speaks in steady historical cadence. Historians still argue whether Marie Antoinette ever said, "Let them eat cake." You think of that now, looking at the buffet table backstage, gluten-free options and all. After the event, a senior exec claps a hand on your shoulder. "We're watching you," he says. You resist the urge to ask if it's in a creepy surveillance kind of way, or the good way. It's the good way. Your bonus confirms it. When Christmas comes around, you send your parents a holiday card. No gift, no long letter, just a professional photo of you in a power suit, arms crossed, smirking. No caption needed. Your sister FaceTimes you that night. She twirls a wine glass and says she's thinking of starting a podcast. You smile. That's cute. You don't offer help. You don't ask for details. You've become fluent in the art of silence, how it unsettles people used to your eagerness. Somewhere in that silence, your parents realize something shifted. You've become someone they can't define, and they hate that. You're back home for New Year's, and the living room feels like a museum of passive aggression. Your mom's overdone with the cheese platter, 6 varieties, all untouched. Your dad sips whiskey and avoids your eyes like he's dodging IRS questions. Your sister shows up late, trailing perfume and drama. She's wearing a designer coat you recognize from an Instagram ad. Of course. They all sit, waiting for you to spill something. A new promotion? A boyfriend? Anything to fill the space. But you give them nothing. Instead, you ask, "Remember when you said college wasn't for me?" Your mother blinks. Your father shifts. Your sister smirks, already reaching for her phone. You continue. "I just wanted to thank you for that. I needed it." The room stiffens, confused. You let it hang there. You think about Rosa Parks refusing to move from her bus seat in 1955. She didn't shout. She just sat. Quiet resistance can be louder than screaming, and you've learned to master it. Historians still debate whether Parks was simply tired or if her protest was planned. Either way, it changed history. You don't need to change history. You just need to change yours. Later that night, your mom corners you while everyone's watching a movie. "We didn't mean to hurt you." You nod. "I know." But knowing doesn't erase it. Knowing doesn't fund tuition or reverse emotional frostbite. Knowing just means you've stopped expecting an apology. Before you leave the next morning, your dad hands you a check. Just a small one. For travel. You don't cash it. You tuck it into your journal, right next to a post-it where you once wrote, "They didn't believe in me. I did anyway." The next few months feel like walking a tightrope in a hurricane. You're juggling a part-time job, night classes, and the gnawing ache of feeling like the family's black sheep. It's exhausting, but you're wired differently now. Resilient, sharp, fueled by a quiet fire. You remember reading about the Great Depression, when millions lost everything but still found ways to survive. People took on odd jobs, mended clothes, bartered goods. Historians still argue whether the era truly broke the American spirit or forged a new kind of toughness. You know your own answer. Your nights are a blur of textbooks and instant noodles. Your sister posts selfies from fancy brunches. Your parents ask how her semester went, but never mention yours. One rainy evening, you're at the library, hands frozen from cold and exhaustion. The janitor, an old man with kind eyes, hands you a cup of coffee without a word. You smile, grateful for the small kindness. You learn from history and fringe facts too. Did you know Cleopatra used crocodile dung as sunscreen? Ridiculous, right? But shows how humans have always been resourceful, even if a little gross. You think about your own resourcefulness, the emotional crocodile dung of your family's favoritism? You're learning to protect yourself, not just survive. It's late. The library empties, but you linger, feeling the weight of everything you're carrying. You realize this isn't just about college or money. It's about proving you belong, not just to them, but to yourself. And maybe, just maybe, that's the kind of victory that outlasts any inheritance. Word count 299. Slowly, your pace eases as exhaustion pulls at your limbs, the harsh edges of resentment softening into a gentle glow of determination. You know the road ahead won't be easy, but the strength you carry feels quiet, steady, a steady heartbeat in the night. Imagine the calm after a storm, the way light spills slowly over a darkened landscape. Let that feeling cradle you as you drift. There's peace in knowing that the scars of the past don't define your future. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together.